This is what your Robinhood account should look like. We can thank Robinhood for pioneering commission-free trading. But since they have basically forced all these other American brokerages to also go commission-free, there's really no reason anymore to be using the inferior software. If you have any interest in performing any sort of chart analysis, being able to execute orders in one click while following the order flow, and real-time news events, you should be moving away from Robinhood. This is ThinkorSwim. It is the free active trading software provided by the now commission-free brokerage Charles Schwab. I've been using this platform for 8 years. I am an expert, and in today's video, I'm going to share with you all of my secrets to help take you from not having any idea to what's going on to being an expert on this platform. All you will need to do to get started with this platform is to open an individual brokerage account with Charles Schwab. You don't even have to put any money in it right away if you just want to get in and learn the platform first, see if you like it. Once you have your account created, you of course will then need to head to the download ThinkorSwim platform, where you will install it either obviously on Windows or Mac, or you crazy Linux users out there, go for that as well. I'll have the links to both of these sites in the description down below. Once you have it downloaded, this will be your desktop icon, and clicking on that will bring up this login mode where you will use the ID and password that you created when you created your Charles Schwab brokerage account. But before we even get logged in here for the first time, I'm going to click on this settings cog, and we need to talk about this memory usage section. This is the hardware that your machine will allow this application to use. How much random access memory, or RAM, is this application allowed to use? You have a minimum bit value and a maximum bit value. What you will need to do is raise this min and max until when you open your task manager and you're running your ThinkorSwim, you're landing around 60 to 70% memory. You don't want to get too high on your memory. You don't want to be in the 90, 80% range. The machine can start getting a little choppy, but raise your random access memory, log into ThinkorSwim. If it's too low or too high, log back out, adjust your min and max values until you can get it to land around 60%. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM. Now it's the last generation RAM, so it's not even like that good. And these are the numbers that I use. Of course, will be different dependent on your machine. This is your home screen of ThinkorSwim. This is the exact same screen that you will see when you log in. Now, I have logged into my paper trading account because I reset my workspace to default so that it'll look the same as yours. And of course, I don't want to do that with my real money account. So I am in the simulated trading. You'll see that here. You'll see the big yellow border. That won't be there if you log in to a live trading account. But the first thing we're going to do before we even jump into a chart, talk about any other settings, we're going to come into our setup in the top right. Under application settings and under system, change your quote speed to real time, no delay. By default, Charles Schwab and ThinkorSwim have this set to a moderate delay of 3 seconds. This is just to ease the load on the servers on their side. And for most people, this is perfectly fine. For most people just buying stocks, holding on to them for 12 months before potentially selling them, they can use 3 seconds of data. But for you and I, for someone watching a YouTube video like this, hoping to become an active trader, you of course are going to want that real time data. So just make sure you change that quote speed under your system settings. Now we're going to click onto the charts tab, and this is where we're going to begin to see stock data. This box here in the top left is where we enter in ticker symbols. If I want to see NVIDIA, I type in NVDA, November Victor Delta Alpha, and that data loads onto our chart. We are currently looking at daily chart, meaning that every single one of these candlesticks represents a day of trading. This can be changed from this drop down. It comes with a default list of favorite timeframes. 5D, 5M means that the entire chart is 5 days worth of data. Each candlestick represents 5 minutes worth of data. So 20D, 1H, the entire chart is 20 days. Each candlestick represents 1 hour. You can customize this list here, add whatever time frames you would like. You can make it as customizable as you would like if you want to see, longer total data, shorter total data, whatever you would like. Customize your times from there. Now, what we're going to do first is we're going to make our chart look a little bit better. I'm going to hop into the chart settings here from this cog, and there is a whole list of things you can change in here, and this is all very low risk stuff, and everyone's going to want their charts to look a little bit different. I'm just going to quickly show you what I do on my charts. You feel free, mess with all these settings. You can screw it up as much as you want. If you hate what you do, just hit reset to chart default and start again. This is all very low risk stuff. It's not going to lose you any money messing with any settings in here, so feel free. First off, I turn on my show trades. When I place a trade on a chart, I like it to show on my chart. Into the price axis, I don't believe I'm going to do anything in here for right now. On the time axis, I do like to give a little bit of an expansion. See now if I hit apply, well, first off, you see some simulated trades on NVIDIA. Nice. But you see how it kind of moves that bar away from the right wall. I don't really like to have my chart ramming into the right wall. I like that little bit of expansion, so we do that. Then in appearance, I have no idea why by default the green candles aren't filled in, so I'm going to fill those in. Then I want my volume colored as the symbol ticks. And then me personally, I don't really like the background grid. I think it just sort of gets in the way, so I'm going to turn that off as well. If we now hit apply, this is how I like my charts to look. So what I'm going to do now, into style, I'm going to save this style. We're going to call it subscribe. That's just a word I came up with. Wink, wink. We're going to call it subscribe. And now whenever I load in another chart, for example, if I hop over to my flexible grid, you will see here, we'll actually have to type something in. If I type in a ticker, it's that kind of back to that ugly default. If I go to style, load style, I've already got a bunch from other tutorial videos, and I click on subscribe, you see now it automatically gives me the chart appearance how I want it, right? So you don't have to do that every time you load in a new chart. Next, let's talk indicators. For example, if I wanted to only buy stocks that are in uptrend, I'd have to utilize an indicator to give a real value to that, right? Because what does it mean to just say uptrend? You have to know what that means, and indicators are very useful to do that. The way I oftentimes define stocks in uptrend are if they're closing above the 200 length simple moving average. So to turn that on my chart, I'm going to come into studies, edit studies, and this is going to bring up our edit studies modal. And from the studies subtab here, I'm going to look up a simple moving average. If I double click on this, it auto applies to the price section. And if I just go ahead and hit apply, you'll notice a simple moving average is now on the chart. However, it is defaulted with a length of 9. So clicking into the cog here, we're going to change this length to 200. Okay, apply, okay. We now have a 200 length simple moving average plotted on our chart that will run across any time frame. You don't have to adjust it for each time frame. It will run across any ticker that you're looking at. The studies in ThinkorSwim will auto apply to whatever data is running on your chart. There are legitimately hundreds of available studies that come by default within your ThinkorSwim application. Let me show you just a couple more examples. I want to turn on the relative strength index. Now notice how this one is showing in this lower section instead of on the price section. That just means that your RSI here will plot in this area below the chart. If I wanted to turn on a volume average, I can then drag this one over this volume section. If I hit apply now, you will notice the average volume of the last 50 bars being plotted and overlaid onto our actual volume. And something I would do here is turn off this left axis. Some studies come with that left axis when you overlay like that. I think it's ugly. Just turn that off. But that's sort of how your different study sections work. Let me actually show you one more example here to show you how dragging works. If I turn on MACD, you'll notice it'll go to another lower section. Say I wanted to see the RSI below the MACD for whatever reason, simply drag that down and notice how they swap places. Now, there's a massive hidden power within ThinkorSwim in that you can code and create your own custom studies, strategies, scanners, watch list columns, etc. And while obviously all of that is about 10 steps too high in education for a beginner video like this, I will show you this. I've got a website, daytradingstrategies.net, where I publish all of my codes that I create for ThinkorSwim. There are currently over 65 of them, and I will show you how you import them into your machine and application right now. I'll give you these two. They'll be linked in the description down below. These two share links for free if you'd like to try this yourself. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this, and then hopping back into my ThinkorSwim, if I go to Setup, Open Shared Items, Paste, Preview, Import, if I go into my studies, edit studies, and I look up DTS, I will have that DTS Bollinger break study now into my ThinkorSwim platform. So you get access to over 65 codes that you can that easily import into your software from my site. Once again, those two you just saw will be linked in the description down below so that you can test that out, look at the functionality of it, and of course, the website itself will also be linked in the description down below. So we've got all these studies on our chart, but what if we want to do a little bit more custom technical analysis? What I'm going to do, I clicked on studies. I'm going to remove all studies. And what we're going to look into now is this drawings tool here. If I hover over drawing tools, these are the entire list of tools that you can draw onto your charts within ThinkorSwim. If I click on this trend line, if I click here, drag, click here again, I will draw the trend line. If I come back into my drawing tools and I click on this price level, if I double click, it will draw a price level. Now, you will do this and your lines will look a little bit differently than mine. And you can change that by right-clicking on the line, edit properties, and you can make this look however you would like. Say I would like my trend lines to be pink and not dotted and slightly wider. If I hit OK, you'll notice that line change, right? But if I were to draw another trend line, it would kind of go back to that yellow dotted line. What I need to do from my edit properties modal is save that as the default. Now every trend line I draw will be that purple solid line. Of course, you can right click on any drawing, go to clear drawing set, get rid of everything you've just done. Also, rather than having to go up to drawings and drawing tools, etc., if you would like to change your drawing tool, you can click in your middle mouse wheel here. If I push this in, it sort of pops up my drawing tools here. So I can go from drawing a price level to drawing a trend line just that fast. Now, let's talk fun stuff. Let's talk actually executing your trades. You've got ThinkorSwim downloaded, you've got your charts looking the way you would like, you've got your studies and drawings all set up. Now you're ready to buy and sell some stocks. I'm going to click on this active trader tab here from my right side column. And for some reason in paper trading, that changes my whole chart. Don't ask me why. It won't do that in your real money account, I promise. Paper trading is slightly buggy. But when I open my active trader, I am brought now with this list of buttons at the top, as well as this price ladder. By default, I have buy market, I have sell market. If you don't know, a market order will simply get you in however many shares you have typed into your quantity as quickly as possible at whatever price is possible. So it will slam into the ask to get you filled immediately. So if I hit buy market, first off, I'm going to get a pop-up here because I don't have my auto send selected. So let's do something else. Let's check this auto send. Now, if I hit buy market, you'll notice my order goes out. You'll notice I'm now filled at $5.78.80. You'll also notice, since remember I turned on my show trades from my chart settings, you see that order on the chart itself. Just looks nice, right? While we're in this position, let's talk about this block here. So you've got your buy and sell, which just shows you of SPY today how many shares I have bought versus how many shares I've sold. Right now I've bought 100, I've sold 0. Position is showing you your current position. Of course, I am in 100 shares plus 100 shares, average price, obvious, P&L open, obvious, what I'm currently up in this trade. P&L day is if I were to sell this trade. Okay, I made $5 in that trade. Cool. Now, if I were to re-enter, you'll see, hey, I'm up $2 in this trade and I'm up 7, 8, 9. It's obviously changing on the day, right? So that's the difference there. You'll also notice my buy and sell is now 200 by 100. Let's go ahead and sell this again, as I want to talk about some more buttons you can change here. If rather than market orders, you would rather use limit orders so that you know, hey, I only want to buy shares when it's trading at this price. Don't buy it any higher. And I only want to sell shares when it's selling at this price. Don't sell it any lower. You can add limit buttons to your active trade window. Clicking on this cog here brings up your list of available items and your current set. First off, let's get rid of the buy market and sell market. If we're not going to use them, I simply double click there. Next, I can go to buy bid and I can come down and add a sell ask. I, of course, would then also drag those up as I want them to appear at the top like this. Now, if I hit OK, you will notice I'm buying the bid and I'm selling the ask on the stock. I am buying where other people are willing to buy, and I am selling where other people are willing to sell, not above or below those prices. Now, if I hit buy bid, you'll notice my order went out. I hit it, my order went out at 578.71. However, the price has not yet traded there until now. Wow, thank you, SPY. That was like perfect timing for my example. You'll notice how when I placed the order, the stock kind of jumped up as the order was executing, so I didn't get filled right away. It won't fill until it's actually trading at that price, and it can fill my quantity at that price, right? Now, if I hit sell ask, the same thing will happen. Let's see if we get it timed as perfectly, but if I sell, my order goes out 578.68. You see how it's not quite trading there yet. Now it is. Now we get filled at 578.68. Now check this out. Something very cool within the active trade window. There are these, and you might have noticed, there are these boxes for bid size and ask size. When I was entering orders here, you notice little 100 values pop up in your bid size and ask size. Well, say I want to buy SPY if it drops below 578.50. What I can do while I'm hovering over this bid size box here, you'll notice my little buy popping up here. If I click buy within the bid size box at 578.49, when clicking on that, it just placed a limit order at 578.49. I will now only get filled, as you'll notice, I'm not buying yet because the stock isn't trading down there yet. I will get filled if SPY comes down to this level. Oh my gosh, is it going to do it again? My examples and timing of SPY have been pretty good so far. Oh my dude, you think I know what the stock market's gonna do or something. Anyway, I'm sorry. So now I just got filled at 578.46. I actually got a slightly better fill, but you'll notice what happened, right? I placed my limit order manually using the trade ladder here in the bid size box. Now, perfect timing, for example, say I want to sell this if we break over 578.70. Now that I'm in a position, I can do the same thing on the ask size. I hit sell at 578.71. Now this order will only sell if SPY jumps up and trades at 578.71. It will start to fill in my 100 quantities sell shares sitting there. We're not quite going to get the jump up there in perfect timing with this one already. You can't time it perfectly every time. Okay. Oh, you know what? Perfect timing. Let me talk to you about another button. Say, hey, I don't want this order sitting here anymore. This button is cancel. Now, what I do in my active trade is I get rid of this like cancel button. And instead, there is a button simply called cancel all. And if I drag this back up, that way you don't get that sort of drop down like, hey, do you want to cancel the buys or do you want to cancel the sells? Oh, Mike, it actually went up and filled me. Look at that. Okay, since we were doing that, it did go up and fill. But let's say I place a buy order out here and I change my mind. Let's say, actually, you know what? I have a couple of buy orders placed out here, right? Oh, I'm trying to buy too many shares. Hold on, let me go one. I'm trying to buy more money than I actually have in my paper trading account. So now I have a couple of buy orders sitting out here. You can see 102 limit X3. If I change my mind, you know what? Never mind. Hit cancel all. Those orders are, of course, canceled. Let me show you something else cool. If I click down here, throw out a limit order, I can grab this and I can drag it. So let's say I actually want to buy SPY if it comes down and breaks below this pivot point down here. I can drag this order, drag it down, and since my auto send is on, it just automatically moves the order down there without popping up any sort of confirmation box. You can also cancel the order from your chart just clicking on this little X here. You will now notice that order is also gone. Now, let's say I want to buy if SPY breaks over, let's go look at 579 here. If SPY breaks over 579, I want to buy. If I click at 579.01, you will notice now a buy order has been placed, but this time instead of limit, it says STP. This is called a buy stop order. Since I have placed it using this ladder above the current price, it will now only fill if the stock touches 579.01. Buy stop orders are a little different because these will act as a market order. This won't act as a limit order. So when the price touches this, it will hammer in my order as fast as possible at whatever price is possible. Just a distinction to make there, but that is how you can place buy stop orders. Now, let's say I want to short SPY if it breaks down below 578.50. I can click on sell here at 578.49 and I got an error. I'm not allowed to short sell stocks on a cash account. I can't show you that, but that's how you would do that. You notice how like the little pop-up tried to come out, right? That's also how you set stop orders or sell stop orders if you would like to short a position that way as well. Apparently, simulated trading is a simulated cash account. Why would they not just simulate a margin account? Maybe that's a setting I can change. Anyway, just reverse everything I just said for buying if you are interested in shorting stocks. Most people aren't anyway, so you should be all right. When using this single template here, I can't have two different sell orders out for the same long position. So let's say I get in a position here at 578.58. Let me just drag it up so I get filled. I'm in a position here at 578.6. If I want to take profit, if we break over 579, I can hit sell up there at 579.01. That is my sell limit, correct? Let's say I also wanted to place a stop if we broke down below 578. If I click this, guess what? I get this same error telling me that I'm not allowed to short stocks. It's not looking at that as a stop loss since I already have a sell open for this position. It's trying to open a short down there. For example, if I were to close this profit take and then click down here, you notice how it will now place a stop loss, right? Well, there is a way you can change this. If I right click, well, actually first, let me just get out of this position first. If I right click, get out of the position, please. If I right click on the chart, I can also hit buy and sell from here. I know there's a lot of ways you can buy and sell stocks I'm covering, but they're all important. So say I wanted to buy if SPY comes back down and touches this level here, then I want to get long. So if I right click here and I hover over buy, if I hit buy, it will place out a limit order. Or I can go over this buy custom and I can do buy with OCO bracket. Notice how there's stops and stop limits. If I hit this OCO bracket, that's going to place my buy order and give me a limit order for take profit and a limit order for take stop loss. And what OCO means is one cancels the other. So now when I get filled here at whatever price this is, 574.65 on SPY, these two orders will remain open. And of course, I just drag them around. Say I want to sell if we broke over 580 and I want to get stopped out if we break below this pivot. Now, whichever one of those becomes true first, of course, the order will trigger, the sells will be shared, the shares will be sold, and the other order will be canceled. Inside of the daily chart now, so I'm in the 5-minute chart, you will notice there are different background colors. This lighter gray represents after hours and pre-market trading. there are after-hours trading options available with Charles Schwab and ThinkorSwim. The market closes at 4 p.m. Eastern, and you can trade from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m. Eastern. The market technically opens for pre-market at 4 a.m. However, with Charles Schwab, you can trade starting at 7 a.m. until 9:30. You, of course, make this available or not available on your chart. Under the equities tab, you can show or hide extended hours trading sessions. But point I'm trying to get at, if you want to trade those extended hour sessions, what you need to do is you need to turn on a button called TIF. This stands for time in force. And in order to trade in extended hours, you must be on the extended time in force. And the secondary thing about extended hours trading is you cannot use market orders. You must use these limit orders. So in this one video, you went from not knowing what ThinkorSwim was to having a Charles Schwab brokerage account, having ThinkorSwim downloaded, having it set up to run as smoothly as possible, getting your charts all set up, learning how to turn on studies and drawings and change your time frames. And we just got a pretty in-depth order execution tutorial there, so you know all the best ways to place your buy and sell orders. Remember to check out the free custom study share links in the description down below, and if you're interested in accessing over 60 more, consider signing up to the website, also linked down below. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one.